Welcome back to another SCP reading, everyone. Today we're back again with another Class of 76 and Syncope Symphony SCP. This time we're looking at SCP-3935, The Thing a Quiet Madness Made. Now, without further ado. Item Number, SCP-3935. Level 3 Confidential. Containment Class, Euclid. Disruption Class, Canic. Risk Class, Caution. Salvation High School. Special Containment Procedures. The town of Salvation, Indiana has been evacuated and a fenced 2-kilometer quarantine zone has been established around the center of the town. Roads leading to the nearby town of Eminence have been removed and rerouted. Foundation personnel are to monitor all known travel routes into Salvation for signs of civilians. Any civilians caught attempting to enter Salvation are to be remanded to the custody of local authorities. Cover story 3935.18, Hazardous Waste Disaster, is currently being disseminated. The building containing SCP-3935 Salvation High School is to be guarded by Foundation security personnel. Under no circumstances are any non-authorized personnel to enter SCP-3935. Individuals believed to be affected in any way by SCP-3935 are to be moved to temporary site 81-5 near Eminence for evaluation. It is currently believed that original inhabitants of Salvation are unable to reproduce. Deviation from this expectation is to be closely monitored. Exploration into 3935 is currently forbidden due to hazardous conditions within 3935. Any future exploration attempts are restricted to Class D personnel only. Description: 3935 is an extratemporal, extraspatial, non-Euclidean space located beneath the Salvation High School in Salvation, Indiana. While 3935 is the designation for the specific anomaly mentioned above, it is believed that the anomaly currently affects the entire town of Salvation, as individuals have reported anomalous events taking place outside of 3935 as well. The full extent of these effects is not known. 3935 is reachable only through a collapsed section of sub-basement beneath the Salvation High School, near the northwest corner of the building below the school's pool. It is believed that 3935 was the source of anomalous activity that took place in Salvation High School in the mid-1970s, which was investigated and contained by members of the Federal Bureau of Investigation Unusual Incidents Unit. Information pertaining to their investigation is available elsewhere in this file. The access point to 3935 proper exists roughly 25 meters below the collapsed section of basement in a small antechamber containing a stone arch. The original creators of the arch, or how it became buried so far underground in the first place, are the subjects of investigation. Inscribed on the arch is a phrase in English, not believed to exist elsewhere in literature. "The wary below wins deeper, longer. Unspeakable its patterns laid. The lost forever damned to wander. This thing a quiet madness made." Addendum 3935-1. Discovery. 3935 was originally discovered following a series of paranormal events that took place within the Salvation High School during the week of June 18, 1976. See Addendum 3935-2. Sometime after the end of the primary anomalous activity period at the school, the collapsed section of wall and floor leading to a narrow gap in the foundation was discovered by a member of the custodial staff. The collapsed wall, which is located in an unspecified basement room below the primary basement, deteriorated even further until the gap in the foundation was large enough that a person could fit into. During an audit of the damage-back contractor, a member of the independent team accidentally slipped and fell into the antechamber near 3935. Without a way to easily extract the individual, their superiors encouraged them to proceed into 3935 a short distance and see if there was a way out. When the individual did not return from 3935, a search was conducted by members of the contractor team and local authorities. When only 2 of the 11 individuals who entered 3935 returned to the antechamber, and when they began to give accounts of their experiences within, Foundation personnel embedded in local authorities took over the investigation. Over time, anomalous activity began to become more common outside of the high school in Salvation. After the events that took place in June 1979, the town was officially condemned and the entire populace, no more than 1,400 people, was relocated. Addendum 3935 2 UIU Field Report. Access Addendum. Note: the following is a summary of the field report filed by UIU field agents Lonnie Carter, Patrick Wilson, and Ella Hughes. Top Secret. Federal Bureau of Investigation. Unusual Incidents Unit. The following is a comprehensive report detailing paranormal activity that took place in the town of Salvation, Indiana between June 18th and June 23rd, 1976. Agents Carter, Wilson, and Hughes dispatched to site of reported activity. Substantial paranormal activity encountered, additional resources requested, and employed in cover-up of paranormal activity. No reported involvement by SCP Foundation or its agents. No reported involvement by Global Occult Coalition or its agents. No reported involvement by other notable entities or their agents. After ascertaining the scope of the reported paranormal activity, dispatched agents applied doses of chemical 110, an early model UIU amnestic similar to the discontinued Foundation Class Silver amnestics, now replaced with the Y909 Class B amnestic, notable for its toxicity and tendency to cause severe damage to human memory centers. To the entire populace of Salvation, all inhabitants accounted for and moved to processing center in Indianapolis for further analysis. Quarantine established around Salvation. After extensive interviews of the population of Salvation, the following timeline of paranormal activity has been constructed from the eyewitness accounts. Sunday night, 10th grade students Dane Beasley and Cassandra Thompson reported hearing what they described as someone trying to speak under the ground when passing by the school on their way home from a Sunday night church service. Ms. Thompson reports this to her mother, who ignores it. Monday. During gym class, 11th grade student Oliver Baker claims that he can hear voices coming from underneath the pool. Several other students corroborate this story. When school officials come to investigate, they do not discern anything unusual. Notably, the lining at the bottom of the pool appears cracked. Several female students report seeing faceless things instead of their own reflections in the mirror at second-story bathroom during a passing period. They do not seem bothered by this. During lunch announcements, many students describe being able to hear a third voice, alongside the two announcing students, speaking unintelligibly below the broadcast. The PA room sits in a media center near the pool, less than 40 meters from the entrance of the sub-basement room and collapsed wall. Tuesday. Students arriving to the school notice that the Indiana state flag is more than 3 meters above the top of the flagpole, attached to nothing. The American flag is not found. When observed, students claim that they can also see 9 female figures hanging by ropes from the flagpole, which disappears immediately after being seen. During a freshman biology class, one student suddenly stands and is seen rolling her eyes back in their head, and descending suddenly into the floor and out of sight. They reappear shortly later above a ceiling panel in the corner of the room. Despite being unable to identify the student, several of his classmates insist it was just a joke. The student is not accounted for in the attached Salvation population dossier. Several students describe seeing a student they did not recognize at the school on Tuesday. When pushed to give details of the student's appearance, none are able to do so. Apparently, the only defining characteristic of this student was a purple satchel with the word syncope written on the side in white embroidery. A custodian report seeing something standing at the bottom of the pool staring at him. Wednesday. Upon arriving at the school, maintenance staff and the custodians note that there is a full 2 inches of water across all levels of the school. Inexplicably, the school's principal, Dr. Irvin White, decides not to close the school. At 7:56 a.m., the entire school hears someone whispering the word "hello" in their right ear. Members of the school band realize that their instruments no longer produce any sound. However, when played, the students report seeing a small, black, human-shaped thing flickering in and out of view in the corner of the room facing the wall. One student, Ava Leadway, witnesses a dark figure walking up and away from the school through the air at an impossible angle. Eventually, the figure disappears from sight and is never seen again. No other students address this. Thursday. During a gym class, senior Nate Bennett avoids a dodgeball when it phases through him. As he begins to sink into the floor, he screams for help. Nobody who noticed seemed motivated enough to help him. The entire school shifts up roughly a foot off its foundations at 11:23 a.m. The vice principal sent to inspect it describes something small with too many faces grinning at him from underneath the building before the school slowly resettles. The boys' locker room disappears and is replaced by something that screamed. Witnesses are unable to provide any further details. As the students leave the school for the day, they see 9 young women hanging in the air, tilted forward at a 45-degree angle, roughly 25 meters above the school's parking lot. They can be seen silently mouthing words. All witnesses describe their appearances as ugly and unremarkable. They vanish at approximately 3 p.m. The majority of all residents describe hearing a child's voice say the word hello below them at this time. A panic ensues as town officials have no response for the woman in the sky. The principal decides to close the school on Friday. The entire student body shows up for school on Friday. Being unable to get into the school due to the doors being locked, they assemble outside the front door and wait. No individuals in this group could describe why they were there. There is a knock on a window, and the entire student body sees a small black humanoid form standing outside of a second-story classroom. The figure begins to phase in and out of the window. The figure disappears and then begins to phase in and out of other windows. Witnesses describe its movements as jerky, erratic, and spasmodic. The figure disappears and the front door unlocks itself. The student body enters the school. The interior of the school has become non-Euclidean. As the students approach the back of the space, they realize they are moving down, not into. All students now hear whispers, and some, at the edge of the group, hear drums in the distance. In the distance, they see the arch leading to SCP-3935. Suddenly, the entire mass of students shifts 50 meters outside of the space and are suddenly encased in rock and earth. These students spend roughly 20 seconds trapped in this area before reappearing back in the school. All students report being the only one in the building and, after wandering through the hallways for a short time, come across a doorway below a doorway. And entering the small sub-basement room, inside the students report seeing 3 separate visions. A woman crouched over a body of water, blood surrounding her feet and her arms extended into the water up to her elbows. A farmhouse in the middle of a grove of trees that is burning while 9 humanoid figures hang in the air overhead, and a weeping woman digging in a field until her hands begin to rot and fall apart. Once the visions subdue, the small black humanoid appears. Students hear the entity say the word hello again, and are immediately surrounded by 9 screaming female figures and then are suddenly in their own homes. As additional agents begin to enter the town to supply amnestics to the subjects, additional anomalous activity is reported around the town. Several individuals report seeing bodies hanging in the sky. Several individuals report turning on their taps and human hair and mucus flowing out instead of water. Several individuals report feeling as if their facial features had disappeared entirely, while several others reported seeing faceless creatures in town. A completely still black humanoid entity is seen frantically appearing and reappearing in rapid succession up and down the main street thoroughfare in the town. One unidentified young woman witnesses a weeping young woman running back into the school building. After following her into the now unlocked sub-basement, she is unable to find the young woman, but is the first to report the collapsed floor. Aftermath summary. Over the next few days, UIU amnestic regimes begin to take effect. Most townspeople are readily convinced that the things they saw were hallucinations as a result of toxic gases blown south from a factory to the north. At the end of the next week, contractors assessing the damage to the school discovered the sub-basement room as well as the entrance to SCP-3935. Foundation involvement begins shortly thereafter. Addendum 3935-3. Initial Exploration and Recovery Log. Access Addendum. Note: the following log is a transcription of audio and video recordings gathered from the initial Foundation search and rescue attempt into 3935. Begin log. Ellis. All right, Mike's hot, let's go. Agents Ellis, Porter, and Haskell enter 3935. Each is equipped with a shoulder-mounted torch, which illuminates upon entering the space beyond the archway. Ellis. All right, so first things first, there's definitely something happening back here. The walls are getting pretty tight. Stay close. The team proceeds forward. Porter.
Can you feel that?
Ellis. What? Porter.
The air feels funny.
Haskell.
Yeah, and the walls. Look.
Shoulder-mounted torch illuminates the wall next to Agent Haskell. Images are carved into the rock similar to a child's drawings. Ellis. Come on, I think I feel a breeze. Might be an opening up there. The team continues to push through the rock tunnel. Porter.
Jesus, these... I can barely move. The walls are too close. Ellis,
Agent Porter's camera suddenly goes black. A moment later, it appears to be looking up at two sources of light, likely Ellis and Haskell's torches, as Agent Porter falls. Porter. Intermittent screaming. Ellis. Oh, what the fuck just happened? Porter! Porter! Where? I can't turn around. Where is he? Haskell.
I hear something coming behind us. We need to move. We need to move!
Both agents struggle to continue forward, the tight space continuing to impede their movement. After a short time of struggling, both men fall forward into a larger open space. Ellis. Jesus Christ, I can't... Where's Porter? Porter! Haskell.
He's not behind me. Can you see him in there?
Silence. Ellis. Okay, we need to get another team down here. He might have fallen into a ravine or something, or slipped back there, or... Haskell.
Ellis. Look.
Both men turn around and illuminate the space they are in with their shoulder-mounted torches. In front of them is a massive structure seemingly carved out of stone around them. A thick fog covers the entire chamber. Beyond the fog, dim lights are visible in openings in the structure. It is impossible to determine how high or low the structure extends. The structure is only reachable via a narrow stone bridge that extends across a large chasm between the agents and the far wall. Ellis. Is this the high school? Why does it look like that? Haskell.
Yeah, the geometry isn't right, but yeah, look there. That's the main entrance. There's another door there, yeah. This is the school. There's another one below it, and one below there.
Ellis. How far down does this go? Are there any other... Both men pause. Appearing over the bridge in front of them are 9 female humanoid figures, their faces obscured by long white hair. They do not move. Haskell.
Ellis?
Ellis. Hang on. The 9 entities hang in the air for a short time before suddenly appearing 10 meters backwards and then another 10, and then right in front of the door to the subterranean school structure. The faces of all 9 suddenly become visible, and although they are not visible on the recording due to the distance, both agents noticeably recoil. Afterwards, all the entities disappear. Haskell.
Jesus Christ! Jesus Christ! Holy shit, what was that?
Ellis. Heavy breathing.
All right. God, we are not ready for this.
There is the sudden sound of many voices speaking in hushed tones in the distance. Both agents react at the sound. Haskell.
Search team? Survivors?
Ellis. Come on, let's go. Both agents cross the chasm bridge leading towards the non-Euclidean replica of Salvation High School. Upon entering, they find the main concourse of the school. No other entities are visible within. Haskell.
Porter? Anyone? Is there anyone here?
Ellis.
I feel like... Jesus, you feel this too? Like, you're looking at the whole room at once.
Haskell.
Yeah. It's the fucking... The walls don't make any sense.
Ellis.
Come on. I hear the voices down this way. Let's go.
Both men move quickly down the closest hallway. As they do, doors on either side of the wall are visible. Although neither agent seem to notice, faces are occasionally visible through glass panes in the doorways. They are impossible to make out. Ellis.
Here. This is the door to the auditorium. I'll bet they're in...
Agent Ellis opens the door. As he does, his video recorder disconnects. Agent Haskell screams and scrambles backwards. The voices increase dramatically in volume, and from Agent Haskell's perspective on the ground near the door, 9 female figures appear around Agent Ellis. Their movements are erratic, and their bodies are contorted into impossible positions. They close on Agent Ellis, and the man and the figures disappear. Haskell.
Fuck! Ellis! God, fuck!
Agent Haskell stands and begins to run away from the door. As he reaches the end of the hall, he looks back over his shoulder and sees 9 figures approaching. Haskell.
Oh, fuck! No! Hello, is anyone there? Help me! God, please, help me! Hello! Fuck me! Please, God, help!
Agent Haskell turns again to see the 9 figures in the hallway behind him. They are no longer moving forward. Instead, they are hanging in the air, unmoving. As Agent Haskell's pace slows, he watches them for a moment and then stops. His breathing becomes quick. Haskell.
What? What do you want?
Agent Haskell turns slowly to look behind him, and upon turning is face to face with a small black humanoid creature sitting upside down on the ceiling of the hallway. The creature has no discernible features, but its presence creates significant visual distortion in Agent Haskell's camera. Unidentified figure.
Hello?
There is a low, loud sound like a bell tolling. The sound continues for 20 seconds. The video feed for Agent Haskell goes dead. The audio feed begins to experience severe distortion, as if the signal is being drawn out over a longer period of time. There is a snapping noise, and then the feed goes silent. All 3 signals are quiet for some time. Eventually, all 3 radios begin responding again. Ellis.
Just wants to be. Wouldn't you like to be? Yeah. We all would die. No more of the 9. We all would... They're back.
Silence for 81 minutes. Haskell.
Wall is like every other wall. This hall is like every other hall. Down and down and down and down. No more, please. No more down. Can't go down anymore. Can't go...
Silence for 18 minutes. Haskell.
Ellis, God, can anyone hear me?
Shouting.
Does anyone know who I am? I can't see the light anymore. I can't see... Oh, God, it's only dark. It's only dark down here. I just want to see the light again.
Silence for 9 minutes. Haskell. Laughing and speaking incoherently.
10th is down below. The 10th is the madness. Oh, it up. There are 9, but the 10th is down below. God, please make it...
Silence for 9 minutes. Porter. Screaming. Silence for 9 minutes. Haskell.
I see you down there. You want to come in? You want me to... You want us to all come down and be with you down?
Wet, choking sounds. Splashing. Sharp intake of breath. Wet, choking. Silence. Silence for 9 minutes. Ellis.
Fall forever. Fall forever. Fall forever. Fall forever. Fall for...
Sound of wind moving past the microphone quickly. Silence for 9 minutes. Porter. Goes on forever. It goes down forever. We're in here forever. Just more of the 9. More of salvation down forever and ever. None of them got out. None of them got out. None of them got out. Static. Unidentified voice through Porter's radio.
Hello?
Porter. Weeping. Porter. Static. No more transmissions from any of the 3 microphones received after this point. Possible exploration attempts into 3935 using Class D subjects are forthcoming. End log. Addendum. 3935 4. Anomalous activity in Salvation. Access Addendum. The following are incidents of anomalous activity in Salvation, Indiana, reported by staff during the Foundation's occupancy of the town. Reports of a figure dressed as a UIU agent who tries to direct individuals towards the high school. This figure disappears if observed for too long. Agent Wills reported seeing a small black figure sitting underneath his vehicle upon approaching. After looking beneath the vehicle, the figure was not there. Afterwards, Agent Wills reported always seeing the black figure in his peripheral vision. Many reports of sounds coming from a grove of trees near the high school. Examination of the grove returned only a dilapidated one-room house and 9
Data redacted.
in the backyard. The appearance of 9 hanging female figures drives off the exploration team. Further examination of the grove is unable to locate the house. After dark, many agents report seeing the 9 female humanoid entities with extreme distended features or no features at all, jerkily moving towards them in the dark only to slide into the earth or fade away before reaching them. Several reports of similar figures up in the trees. Reports of several bodies, no more than 9 at a time, that float up from the bottom of a small pond outside of the town and rest at the surface of the water before sinking and reappearing, likely connected in some way to the 9
Data redacted.
that appeared behind the house in the grove. Addendum 3935 5. Interview with person of interest. Access addendum. Note: the following interview was conducted by Agent Ryan Ames in 2002. The subject, Miss Valerie Fletcher, was a teacher at Salvation High School during the period of anomalous activity in 1976. Begin log. Agent Ames: can you tell me about your time at Salvation? Miss Fletcher:
Oh, well, you know, I already told you about the memory loss. Just can't seem to string anything together anymore.
likely due to the experimental amnestic chemical 110 utilized by the UIU in the 1970s.
I was a teacher, though. See, I taught, English, I believe. Yes, I was at Salvation for some time.
Agent Ames: what can you tell me about the town? Anything you remember that stands out? Miss Fletcher:
Well, it was quiet, you know. One road in and one road out. We didn't get many outsiders, so we were a pretty tight-knit community. I don't even think we had police, you know. Because who would need them? We didn't have crime, not really. There were always some people who would tell stories, you know. They...
Agent Ames:
Yes.
Miss Fletcher:
What? Hello? Hello?
Agent Ames:
You were just talking about people telling stories, Miss Fletcher.
Miss Fletcher:
Oh, the young people would go out into the woods and get themselves all roiled up about whatever spook or spectre they thought they were seeing out there. There were some things that were strange. Well, I don't know if they were actually strange or if they were just my memory giving me trouble again. Like, sometimes you'd be driving down the street and you'd see somebody standing on the side of the road waving just like this, and you'd look back and nobody would be there. I think it was just kids playing pranks on people.
Agent Ames: what about the high school? Anything strange ever happened there? Miss Fletcher:
High school?
Agent Ames: where you were a teacher, Salvation High School. Miss Fletcher:
Yes, I was a teacher. I taught English, I think.
Agent Ames: do you remember anything strange happening at the school? Miss Fletcher:
No, I mean, nothing out of the ordinary. We did have a child disappear once, I think. The last time she was seen was by the pool, and then nobody ever saw them again. I think they ended up saying they just ran away. Some of them were problem children, you know, trouble, and there's just nothing you can do about that. Maybe it was better for them, I don't know. There was a lot of people in Salvation who had some strong opinions, and some of them didn't sit very well with the young people.
Agent Ames: what do you mean? Miss Fletcher:
Oh, you know, the church was very important in town. We had a few, almost everyone went, and we had, if I remember right, there was one girl who got pregnant, I think. I'm sorry, what were we talking about again? I can't seem to... Hello?
Agent Ames: a girl who got pregnant. Miss Fletcher:
Yes, out of wedlock. It was quite a scandal. I don't remember what happened to her, but I know a lot of people were very upset. I don't remember the girl's name. No, no. But I do remember her coming to me one time and asking about something strange she had heard. She was pregnant out of wedlock. It was quite a scandal, and don't want the boys to see, but she said she was sitting out on the bleachers and kept hearing a knocking, like somebody hitting something. She didn't want the boys, didn't want them to...
Agent Ames. Miss Fletcher. Miss Fletcher.
I'm sorry, I'm just so all over anymore. She said she would see things sometimes too, but I don't know anything about that. She also, I don't know if I dreamed this or not, but I remember her saying hello to me too many times, all at once too, not like a greeting, like it was the only word she knew for a moment, like it was all she. Hello?
Agent Ames. Is there anything else about salvation you remember? Miss Fletcher.
It all blurs together after all this time. I seem to remember there was one time when somebody found a girl. Maybe the same. Well, I don't know, but they were strung up in the woods, like hanging. I think they called it suicide. Or one of the girls who did cheer, But it was somebody who, I don't know why they did anything like that. They had a note, they had written with, I'm sorry. Anyway, a note in their hand actually asked me to look at it, see if it was the same handwriting and everything.
Agent Ames. Oh, what did it say? Miss Fletcher.
Oh, well, if I remember right, it was on one side. They just had a drawing, like a building, but strange somehow. I don't remember why. On the other hand, it was just a word written over and over and over again. I don't remember what it was. I think it was wet or something. You couldn't make it out. Very queer now that I think of it. What a strange thing to write just before you die, don't you think?
Agent Ames. Do you remember anything from the week you were evacuated? Miss Fletcher.
No. Well, I mean, the vapors were very strong that week from the factory. They said that we might experience hallucinations, and I definitely did. See, I saw some things. There was one day I imagined a child floating backwards into a wall, and then they suffocated. I heard him screaming and pounding against the wall. We all did. It was a strange hallucination. He stopped. I'm sorry, what am I doing here again?
Agent Ames. We're just talking, Miss Fletcher. I'm here with the insurance company. We were talking about the hallucination, remember? About the boy in the wall. Miss Fletcher.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. I just don't remember quite so well anymore. The hallucination, though. I saw that bar go in, and then we didn't hear anything else. Now that I think about it, that's very peculiar. The hallucination was very clear. He cried for a long time, and seemed so afraid, but, I don't seem to remember it bothering me. I think we must have just been a prank.
Agent Ames. One last question, Miss Fletcher. After the earthquake, they found a room beneath the basement near the pool. Do you know anything about that? Miss Fletcher shifts uncomfortably.
No, I don't. Nobody ever went into that room but the janitors, I think. Just storage. Though, I think that girl asked about that room once, said she heard some things coming from it. She was very interested in it, I think, before she, either way. But I don't know. I might not be remembering that right. I do, some of the hallucinations. They told us not to think about them anymore, so I try not to, but I know some other people who have, and they They aren't doing so well anymore.
Agent Ames
Thank you for your time, Miss Fletcher.
stands to leave.
Actually, before I go, do you think you know anything about this?
Shows the subject of an image taken of the 9 unidentified female figures. At this point, the subject becomes noticeably pale and short of breath. Miss Fletcher
Oh, well, yes, I do. Those are that's the cheerleaders.
pauses.
There's, uh, well, let me think. There were 10 of them, though, I think, unless something happened to one of them. There were definitely 10.
I'm sure even those that haven't heard or read it before have heard at least a little bit about A Quiet Madness Made, and I'm happy to have finally gotten to it myself. But that's all we have time for today. Thank you everyone for coming, and good luck out there.